What if I told you that every single night, for the past few years, you've been throwing away the most powerful opportunity to transform your financial reality? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Right now, as you're watching this, millions of people around the globe are preparing for sleep, completely unaware that they're about to waste 8 hours of pure manifestation power. Has this ever happened to you? You go to bed worried about bills, stressed about money, replaying financial failures in your mind, and then wake up the next morning wondering why nothing ever changes in your bank account. Here's what most people don't realize. There's an invisible door that opens every single night, just before you close your eyes. It's a gateway directly into your subconscious mind. And for those precious few minutes, when your conscious thoughts begin to fade, your mind becomes incredibly receptive to new programming. Think of it as the universe's Wi-Fi password, and most people are walking around without ever logging in. The ancient mystics knew this secret. Successful entrepreneurs stumbled upon it. Even modern neuroscience is beginning to understand what's happening in those crucial moments between waking and sleeping. Your subconscious mind doesn't judge, doesn't argue, doesn't question. It simply accepts whatever you feed it as our truth and begins working tirelessly to make it your reality. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might surprise you. Every thought you think before drifting off to sleep becomes like a direct order to the most powerful computer in existence, your subconscious mind. And here's the thing. It's been running the same old programs for years, maybe decades, programs of lack, limitation, and financial struggle. But what if you could rewrite that code? What if those final moments before sleep, instead of being filled with worry and stress, became your daily appointment with abundance? Picture this. Instead of falling asleep rehearsing your problems, you could be programming your mind to attract wealth, opportunities, and financial freedom. The scientific community calls it neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself. Spiritual teachers have called it manifestation. But I call it something much simpler, taking control of the most untapped resource you have, your sleeping hours. While your body rests, your subconscious mind works overtime, processing, organizing, and most importantly, creating the blueprint for your tomorrow. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful dreaming. This is about understanding that your financial reality is directly connected to what's happening in those sacred minutes before you lose consciousness. Every single night, you have the opportunity to plant seeds of prosperity in the most fertile ground imaginable, your subconscious mind. What you're about to learn has been used by mystics, millionaires, and manifestation masters throughout history, but it's been hidden in plain sight. Tonight, everything changes. Tonight, you discover how to turn your sleep into your secret weapon for financial transformation. Now here's where this gets absolutely fascinating, and it's something that completely transformed my understanding of how our minds actually work. Your subconscious mind operates like the most loyal employee you could ever imagine. It doesn't question your decisions, doesn't debate your logic, and certainly doesn't argue with your beliefs. When you feed it information, it simply says, "Yes, sir," or "Yes, ma'am," and gets to work making whatever you've told it into your lived reality. Think about the profound impact of this revelation. Every single night when you're lying there thinking about money problems, rehearsing conversations about debt, or visualizing empty bank accounts, your subconscious is taking detailed notes. It's not saying, "Wait, let me fact-check this," or "Are you sure this is what you want?" It's simply accepting these thoughts as direct orders and immediately beginning the behind-the-scenes work to create more of exactly what you're focusing on. If you're finding value in these deeper conversations about wealth and consciousness, I'd love to have you join our community by hitting that subscribe button. Every week, I share insights that go beyond surface-level advice, exploring the real principles that create lasting financial transformation. You deserve access to knowledge that actually works. This is the hidden truth that explains why so many hard-working, intelligent people stay trapped in financial struggle despite their best efforts. During the day, they're grinding, hustling, trying every strategy they can find. But every night, they're unconsciously programming their minds for limitation. It's like trying to drive forward while someone else has their foot on the brake. But here's where the real transformation becomes possible. Scientists have discovered what they call the golden hour of consciousness, that magical window just before sleep when your brain waves shift into a different frequency. Your conscious mind, the one that's been analyzing and judging all day, finally starts to power down. The mental chatter begins to fade. External noise loses its grip on your attention. And in this sacred space between waking and sleeping, something remarkable happens. Your subconscious mind becomes incredibly receptive, like fertile soil waiting for seeds. Whatever thoughts, images, and emotions you plant during this golden hour sink deep into your psyche without the usual resistance from your logical mind. This is when real mindset transformation occurs, not through forcing or struggling, but through gentle, consistent programming. Most people completely waste this opportunity. They scroll through their phones, watching videos that fill their minds with other people's problems. They replay the day's stresses, mentally rehearsing tomorrow's challenges, or fall asleep to the news, programming their subconscious with fear and negativity. No wonder they wake up feeling anxious and continue attracting the same challenging circumstances. But imagine if you approached this golden hour with intention. Picture deliberately choosing what thoughts and images you allow into this sacred space, instead of randomly falling asleep to whatever happens to be on your mind. You could be strategically programming your subconscious for abundance. When you tell your subconscious, money flows to me easily, it doesn't stop to analyze your current bank balance or question whether you deserve prosperity. It simply accepts this as truth and begins organizing circumstances, opportunities, and encounters to make it happen. This isn't about positive thinking or mantras that feel hollow. This is about understanding the actual mechanics of how your mind creates your reality. Your subconscious is working 24 hours a day, even while you sleep, processing information and influencing your decisions, your energy, and even the opportunities you notice or miss. The journey to financial transformation doesn't start with changing your external circumstances. It begins with taking control of what happens in those precious moments before sleep, when your mind is most open to receiving new programming. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic and show you exactly how to harness this golden hour to reprogram your relationship with money, because the specific techniques I'm about to share have been used by some of the most successful people throughout history. Write in the comments, "My golden hour starts tonight," if you're ready to begin this transformation. The revelation that changed everything for me came when I realized I was committing unconscious self-sabotage every single night. Without even knowing it, I had turned my bedroom into a worry factory. Picture this familiar scenario. You're lying in bed, and instead of drifting peacefully into sleep, your mind starts its nightly review session. Tonight's bills that need paying, tomorrow's challenging conversations, that argument from earlier replaying on repeat, the mounting credit card balance, the job that doesn't pay enough, the dreams that feel impossibly far away. Sound familiar? This is what I call the midnight mindset massacre. And it's happening in bedrooms around the world every single night. People are unknowingly programming their subconscious minds with exactly the opposite of what they actually want. They're planting seeds of limitation in the most fertile ground imaginable, then wondering why their financial garden keeps producing the same bitter fruit year after year. Here's the hidden truth that most people never discover. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between what you want and what you don't want. It only responds to what you focus on with emotional intensity. When you lie there thinking about how difficult life is, how money doesn't last, how you can't catch a break, your subconscious is diligently taking notes. It's not thinking, oh, they don't actually want this. It's thinking, got it, more financial struggle coming right up. This behind-the-scenes mental programming explains why some people seem to attract one financial crisis after another, while others effortlessly flow from opportunity to opportunity. It's not luck, genetics, or cosmic favoritism. It's the compound effect of thousands of nights spent either programming limitation or programming abundance. But imagine if you flipped this script entirely. What if, instead of using those precious pre-sleep moments to rehearse your problems, you used them to rehearse your prosperity? What if you deliberately planted different seeds in that fertile mental soil? Picture lying in bed and allowing your mind to wander into visions of financial freedom, abundant opportunities flowing your way, unexpected income arriving, bills being paid with ease and joy. The transformation happens when you combine vivid imagery with genuine emotion. Your subconscious mind responds most powerfully to what feels real, and the twilight state between waking and sleeping is when it's most receptive to new programming. This isn't about forcing artificial positivity or pretending problems don't exist. This is about strategic mental cultivation, choosing what grows in the garden of your mind. When you consciously plant seeds of wealth and abundance during this golden hour, something remarkable begins to shift. Your subconscious starts working behind the scenes to align your reality with these new instructions. You begin noticing opportunities that were always there, but somehow invisible before. Your decision-making shifts subtly but powerfully. Your energy changes in ways that attract different experiences and people into your orbit. The journey from financial struggle to financial ease often begins with this simple but profound shift in your nighttime mental habits. Instead of ending each day by mentally rehearsing everything that's wrong, you begin ending each day by envisioning everything that's possible. Your subconscious takes these emotionally charged visions and begins weaving them into the fabric of your daily experience. This is why some of history's most successful individuals spoke about the power of their dream time, not just for rest, but for creation. They understood that the mind never truly sleeps, it simply shifts into a different mode of operation, and in that mode, it's incredibly receptive to new instructions about what kind of life to create. Now, I want to reveal the specific technique that amplifies this natural process, because there's a particular way to engage with your subconscious during these twilight moments that dramatically accelerates the manifestation of abundance in your life. Write in the comments, I choose abundance tonight if you're ready to start planting different seeds. The breakthrough moment in understanding this process comes when you grasp the fundamental formula that governs manifestation. Emotion plus repetition equals reality. This isn't mystical mumbo-jumbo. This is how your brain actually works. Your nocturnal mind operates like an infinite problem-solving computer, constantly generating solutions, creative insights, and directional guidance while you sleep. The key insight that changes everything is realizing you don't need to be a genius, have special gifts, or possess secret knowledge to tap into this power. You simply need the discipline to show up consistently, night after night, and feed your subconscious mind the right ingredients. Think about how athletes train their bodies through repetition and emotional engagement. They don't just go through the motions mechanically. They visualize their performance, feel the emotions of victory, and repeat these mental rehearsals until their body knows exactly what to do when the moment arrives. Your financial transformation works the same way. When you combine vivid mental imagery with genuine emotion and repeat this process consistently before sleep, you're essentially training your subconscious mind to recognize and create opportunities for abundance. But here's where most people unknowingly sabotage their own success. And it's happening in bedrooms across the world every single night. I call it the ritual of the stressed sleeper. Picture the typical evening routine, scrolling through social media, absorbing other people's problems and complaints, watching the news, filling the mind with stories of economic doom and global uncertainty, lying in bed replaying work stress, relationship conflicts, and financial anxieties. This has become the default pre-sleep ritual for millions of people, and they're wondering why their lives feel stuck in cycles of struggle and limitation. Your last thought before sleeping becomes the first instruction your subconscious receives for creating tomorrow's experiences. Most people are accidentally programming themselves for more of what they don't want, simply because they haven't recognized the incredible power of this twilight moment. They're feeding their most receptive mental state with stress, fear, and negativity, then waking up surprised that their days feel heavy and challenging. Meanwhile, there's a completely different approach being used by what I call the silent millionaires. These are the people who've discovered that wealth creation happens as much in the bedroom as it does in the boardroom. They understand that their evening ritual is actually their most important business meeting of the day, a private appointment with their own creative potential. Instead of ending their day by consuming other people's content and energy, they end it by deliberately crafting their own mental landscape. The hidden truth is that your subconscious mind is always working, always creating, always processing. The question isn't whether it's active, but what instructions you're giving it to work with. When you consciously choose to end each day with thoughts, images, and emotions aligned with prosperity and abundance, you're essentially hiring the most powerful creative force in your life to work on your financial goals while you sleep. If tonight's conversation sparked something new in your understanding of wealth creation, that like button is a beautiful way to acknowledge the connection we've built together. Your appreciation means everything and helps me know these deeper topics are truly serving you. This transformation in your nighttime routine creates a ripple effect that impacts every area of your life. Your decision-making becomes sharper because your subconscious has been focused on solutions rather than problems. Your energy shifts because you're waking up from dreams of possibility rather than nightmares of limitation. Your intuition becomes more reliable because your inner wisdom has been given clear direction about what to look for and what to create. The journey from financial struggle to financial freedom often begins with this simple recognition. Your bedroom is either a factory for limitation or a laboratory for abundance, and you get to choose which one it becomes through the conscious cultivation of your pre-sleep mental state. Now, I want to reveal the exact 5-step process that transforms this understanding into practical action, because knowing these principles is only the beginning. Write in the comments, "My bedroom is my abundance laboratory," if this revelation is clicking for you. The transformation process I'm about to share with you has been refined through years of working with people who've gone from financial struggle to genuine abundance, and it all centers around creating what I call your personal prosperity protocol. This isn't complicated, but it does require intention and consistency, which separates those who just consume information from those who actually experience transformation. The journey begins with creating mental silence, and this might be the most challenging part for many people in our hyper-connected world. For just 5 minutes before you begin your wealth programming, you need to disconnect from the digital noise that's been filling your head all day. Turn off the phone, step away from screens, and create a buffer zone between the chaos of your day and the sacred space of your evening ritual. This isn't meditation in the traditional sense. It's more like clearing the mental canvas so you can paint your financial future with precision. Once your mind settles into this quieter state, you move into what I call emotional affirmation. This is where most people get it wrong because they think affirmations are just words you repeat. Real affirmation happens when you speak your desired reality with genuine feeling, as if you're describing something that's already unfolding. Instead of saying, "I want to be wealthy," like you're begging the universe, you say, "Money flows to me with ease and joy," like you're acknowledging a truth that's already in motion. The emotion behind the words is what gives them power to penetrate your subconscious programming. From this emotionally charged state, you transition into vivid visualization, but not the fluffy, abstract kind most people attempt. You create detailed mental movies of your abundant life, complete with sensory details that make your subconscious believe it's experiencing real events. You see yourself checking your bank account and feeling that rush of security and freedom. You imagine making financial decisions from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. You visualize opportunities flowing toward you naturally and effortlessly. The more specific and emotionally engaging these mental movies become, the more your subconscious treats them as memories of future events. Then comes perhaps the most powerful element, anticipatory gratitude. This is where you thank the universe, God, or whatever force you believe in for the abundance that's already on its way to you. Not gratitude for what you currently have, but heartfelt appreciation for what you know is coming. This emotional state of grateful expectation creates an energetic magnetism that seems to draw opportunities and synchronicities into your life. Experience. Finally, as sleep begins to take hold, you allow your last conscious image to be one of prosperity and fulfillment. This final frame that you consciously choose becomes the seed from which your subconscious mind grows tomorrow's experiences. Instead of drifting off to random thoughts or worries, you deliberately plant the image of your abundant life as the last thing your conscious mind processes. Here's what most people don't realize about the behind-the-scenes magic happening. During sleep, your mind never actually stops working. While your body rests and repairs itself, your subconscious mind is incredibly active, processing the day's experiences, forming new neural pathways, and most importantly, constructing the framework for your future reality. Every story of seemingly overnight success, every tale of sudden breakthrough or unexpected opportunity has its roots in this nocturnal creative process. Your sleeping mind operates like a master architect, taking the blueprints you've provided through your pre-sleep programming and beginning the invisible work of manifesting them in your physical experience. It influences your decisions, guides your attention toward certain opportunities while filtering out others, and even affects the energy you project that attracts specific people and circumstances into your orbit. Now, I want to explore the deeper science behind why this nocturnal programming is so incredibly powerful, because understanding the mechanism makes the process even more effective. Write in the comments, "My subconscious is my wealth architect," if you're beginning to see how this process works. The profound revelation that completely shifted my understanding of wealth creation came when I realized that your subconscious mind operates exactly like the most fertile garden imaginable. Every single night, you're standing at the edge of this mental garden with seeds in your hand, and you get to make a choice that will determine what grows. In your financial reality, the question isn't whether you're planting seeds, because that's happening automatically. The question is whether you're consciously choosing to plant seeds of scarcity or seeds of wealth. This hidden truth explains why some people seem to effortlessly attract abundance, while others work incredibly hard, yet remain trapped in cycles of financial struggle. It's not about intelligence, education, or even opportunity. It's about what kind of mental seeds they're planting in their subconscious garden, night after night. When you lie down and allow your mind to drift toward thoughts of limitation, debt, and financial stress, you're essentially planting weeds that will choke out any possibility of prosperity. But when you deliberately choose to plant images and emotions of abundance, you're cultivating a mental environment where wealth can flourish. The most remarkable aspect of this process is that once you plant these prosperity seeds just before sleeping, they grow without resistance during the night. Your conscious mind, which usually argues with new ideas and questions every possibility, completely steps aside during sleep. This creates the perfect conditions for your subconscious to accept and develop these wealth-oriented thoughts without the usual mental interference. It's like having access to the world's most sophisticated manifestation laboratory, and it's available to you every single night. What makes this even more powerful is understanding that visualization isn't just imagination or wishful thinking. When done correctly, especially in that twilight state before sleep, visualization becomes a creation tool that operates on principles that have been recognized by sages, mystics, and successful individuals throughout history. Everything that exists in the physical world was first created in someone's mind. Every building, every invention, every business venture began as a mental image that someone held with enough clarity and emotion to bring it into reality. The science behind this process reveals that your brain doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and actual events. When you visualize yourself living in abundance, checking a healthy bank account, or receiving unexpected income, your neural pathways begin forming as if these experiences were actually happening. This isn't superstition or spiritual fantasy. This is documented neuroscience. Your brain starts creating the mental framework that will guide your decisions, influence your behavior, and shape your perception of opportunities in the waking world. The transformation happens because visualization before sleep accesses what I call your interior technology, this incredible capacity your mind has to literally reshape your reality from the inside out. When you consistently feed your subconscious mind detailed images of financial success and abundance, you're programming it to recognize and create the circumstances that align with these visions. Your intuition becomes sharper about financial decisions. Your energy shifts in ways that attract different people and opportunities. Your confidence grows because you've been mentally rehearsing success rather than failure. The journey from financial limitation to financial freedom often begins with this simple recognition. Your imagination isn't separate from your manifestation power. It's the primary tool through which you access it. Every night, you have the opportunity to use this tool with precision and purpose, planting specific images and emotions that your subconscious will work tirelessly to bring into your physical experience. The fact that you're here, engaging with these concepts, tells me you're ready for a different approach to abundance. Subscribe to continue this journey with me because I'm constantly uncovering new aspects of how consciousness creates wealth, and I want to share these discoveries with people who are serious about real change. The impact of this practice becomes even more profound when you understand the specific timing and techniques that maximize its effectiveness. Because there are particular ways to engage your visualization practice that dramatically accelerate the manifestation process. Write in the comments, "I'm planting abundant seeds tonight," if you're ready to start using your imagination as a wealth creation tool. The breakthrough that separates those who merely dream about wealth from those who actually manifest. It lies in understanding the difference between wishful thinking and precision programming. Most people approach visualization like they're watching a blurry movie through foggy glasses. They have vague notions of being rich or having more money. But these generalized desires lack the specificity that your subconscious mind needs to create tangible results. Your subconscious operates like the most sophisticated GPS system ever created, but it needs exact coordinates to guide you to your destination. When you visualize yourself checking your bank account, don't just imagine a lot of money. See the specific numbers on the screen. Feel the weight of your phone in your hand as you scroll through the digits. Notice the rush of excitement and relief as you realize that impossible number is actually there. When you imagine signing a lucrative contract, visualize the texture of the paper, the weight of the pen, the expression on the other person's face as they congratulate you on the deal. This level of detail transforms visualization from fantasy into what I call precision manifestation. Your subconscious mind begins treating these detailed mental experiences as memories of future events rather than wishful daydreams. The specificity gives your inner creative mechanism something concrete to work toward, like providing a detailed blueprint to a master builder who's eager to construct your dream home. But here's where the real transformation magic happens, and this is the hidden truth that most people miss entirely. Visualization without emotional investment is like trying to plant seeds in concrete. The images might be clear, but without the emotional charge that brings them to life, they remain powerless mental movies with no creative force behind them. Your subconscious doesn't respond to what you see in your mind, it responds to what you feel about what you see. When you imagine checking that abundant bank account, you must genuinely feel the joy, the security, the freedom that comes with financial prosperity. Feel how your shoulders relax when money is no longer a source of stress. Experience the confidence that comes from knowing you can handle any financial challenge that arises. Sense the generosity that flows through you when you're not operating from scarcity. These emotions aren't just nice additions to your visualization practice. They're the fuel that powers the entire manifestation engine. The science behind this emotional component reveals why feeling is so crucial to creation. Your subconscious mind communicates primarily through emotion and imagery rather than words and logic. When you combine a vivid mental image with authentic emotion, you're speaking your subconscious mind's native language. It receives this emotional visual message and immediately begins working to align your reality with what it perceives as your current truth. This is why some people can visualize all day long without seeing results, while others experience rapid transformation. The difference isn't in the amount of time spent visualizing, it's in the emotional authenticity of the practice. Your subconscious can detect the difference between forced positivity and genuine feeling. When you truly feel prosperous during your visualization, even for just a few moments, you're broadcasting a signal that says, "This is my reality," rather than, "This is my hope." The journey from financial struggle to financial success often hinges on this ability to generate authentic emotions of abundance before the external evidence appears. This isn't about pretending or denying your current circumstances. It's about accessing the emotional state of your desired future and allowing that energy to guide your present moment decisions and actions. Now, I want to reveal how this emotional visualization process connects with a deeper principle that governs all manifestation, because understanding this connection amplifies the power of everything we've discussed so far. Write in the comments, "I feel my abundance now," if you're ready to add emotional power to your visualizations. The most profound revelation that completely revolutionized my understanding of wealth creation came when I discovered that money doesn't flow to those who work the hardest, sacrifice the most, or even deserve it the most. Money flows to those who are energetically aligned with it, and this alignment happens through a hidden process that most people never consciously engage with. The secret lies in understanding that your relationship with money is governed by deep subconscious beliefs that were programmed into your mind long before you had any conscious control over them. Think about the people you know who seem to effortlessly attract financial opportunities. They're not necessarily the smartest, the most educated, or even the most hardworking, but there's something about their energy, their confidence, their expectation of abundance that seems to magnetize prosperity into their lives. What they've discovered, often unconsciously, is how to align their internal programming with the frequency of wealth. The transformation process that creates this alignment happens most effectively during sleep, when your conscious mind's resistance is completely lowered. This is when you can reprogram your subconscious mind to automatically attract money by exposing it to wealth affirmations in a way that bypasses your logical, doubting thoughts. Your Sleeping mind doesn't question whether you deserve abundance or analyze the probability of your success. It simply absorbs the information you feed it and begins reorganizing your internal blueprint accordingly. When content like this resonates with you, hitting that like button is one of the most powerful ways to ensure it reaches other conscious creators who are searching for exactly this kind of transformational approach to abundance. Your like helps build a community of people committed to real change. But here's where most people sabotage their own programming efforts without even realizing it. And it comes down to the language they use when attempting to reprogram their minds. The difference between supplication and declaration determines whether you remain trapped in cycles of wanting or step into the power of creating. When you say, "I want to be rich," you're essentially declaring your current state of lack and begging the universe to change it someday. Your subconscious hears this as confirmation that richness is something outside of you, something you don't currently possess. This subtle but powerful distinction explains why so many people can repeat positive affirmations for years without experiencing significant change. They're affirming from a place of desperation rather than declaration, from absence rather than presence. The energy behind their words contradicts the words themselves, creating internal confusion that prevents the manifestation process from gaining momentum. The breakthrough happens when you shift from wanting to being, from hoping to knowing, from begging to declaring. Instead of saying, "I want to be rich," you declare, "I am rich now because my mind accepts it now." This isn't about denying your current circumstances or forcing artificial positivity. This is about recognizing that your future reality begins forming in your mind before it appears in your experience, and the language you use shapes that formation process. Your subconscious mind responds to present tense declarations as instructions for immediate implementation. When you consistently tell it, "I am wealthy," it begins looking for evidence to support this identity. Your decisions shift to align with this new self-concept. Your behavior changes to match what a wealthy person would do. Your energy transforms to attract opportunities and people that resonate with abundance rather than scarcity. The journey from financial struggle to financial freedom often requires this fundamental shift in how you communicate with your own subconscious mind, especially during those precious moments before sleep when it's most receptive to new programming. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful mantras. This is about strategic identity reconstruction at the deepest level of your psyche. Now, I want to explore the specific language patterns and phrases that create the most powerful reprogramming effects, because the words you choose in those twilight moments can literally reshape your financial destiny. Write in the comments, "I am wealthy now," if you're ready to shift from wanting to being. The profound breakthrough that changed everything for me came when I discovered that your subconscious mind operates on a completely different communication system than your logical, rational thoughts. While your conscious mind loves facts, figures, and linear reasoning, your subconscious speaks an entirely different language, one that most people never learn to use effectively. This hidden language is the key that unlocks your natural wealth-attracting abilities, and it operates through three fundamental channels that bypass all logical resistance. Your subconscious doesn't respond to arguments or explanations about why you should be wealthy. It doesn't analyze market conditions or evaluate your current qualifications for abundance. Instead, it responds with lightning speed to vivid mental images that feel emotionally real. When you can create detailed pictures in your mind of yourself living prosperously, and you can genuinely feel the emotions that would accompany that lifestyle, you're speaking directly to the part of your mind that actually creates your reality. This is why traditional goal setting often fails to produce dramatic results. People write down what they want logically, but they never engage the deeper creative mechanism that operates below the surface of conscious thought. The transformation happens when you understand that repetition is the third crucial component of this hidden language. Your subconscious learns through consistent emotional repetition, not through one-time logical decisions. Every night that you feed it the same wealth-aligned images and emotions, you're strengthening the neural pathways that support abundant thinking and abundant living. The journey from financial limitation to financial freedom requires mastering this alternative communication system, especially during those precious moments before sleep, when your logical mind finally steps aside. This is when you can plant new programming that takes root without interference from doubt, skepticism, or analysis. Your subconscious becomes like fertile soil, ready to accept whatever seeds you choose to plant through this powerful combination of imagery, emotion, and repetition. But here's the revelation that elevates this practice from personal development technique to cosmic collaboration. Sleep isn't just a biological necessity for rest and recovery. When you understand what's really happening behind the scenes, you realize that sleep becomes your nightly opportunity to place a direct order with the universe itself. Your subconscious mind never actually sleeps. It simply shifts into a different mode of operation, one where it can work uninterrupted on whatever instructions you've given it. Think about this profound truth. While your body rests, your subconscious is actively working all night long according to the specific order you placed just before drifting off. If you fell asleep worried about money, your subconscious spends the night reinforcing patterns of scarcity and limitation. If you drifted off feeling grateful for abundance, it works tirelessly to align your energy and awareness with opportunities for prosperity. The task you give your subconscious before sleeping becomes its primary focus for the next 8 hours of continuous operation. This transforms your entire relationship with bedtime because you begin to recognize that these moments aren't just the end of your day, they're the beginning of your next reality. What you think and feel before sleeping literally becomes the blueprint your subconscious uses to construct tomorrow's experiences. Your sleeping mind influences your intuition, guides your attention towards certain opportunities while filtering out others, and affects the energy you project that attracts specific people and circumstances into your life. The impact of understanding this process extends far beyond personal wealth creation, because you're essentially learning to collaborate consciously with the same creative force that governs all manifestation in the universe. Your subconscious mind is connected to a vast network of intelligence that operates behind the scenes of everyday reality, orchestrating synchronicities and opportunities that appear to be coincidences but are actually responses to the orders you've been placing through your pre-sleep programming. Now, I want to reveal the specific timing and techniques that maximize this cosmic collaboration, because there are particular ways to engage with this process that dramatically amplify your manifestation power. Write in the comments, "I speak the language of abundance," if you're ready to master this hidden communication system. The transformation that separates genuinely wealthy individuals from those who merely dream about wealth lies in a hidden truth that most people never discover. Rich people have learned to think with emotional intensity rather than desperate longing. When they engage with thoughts of abundance before sleep, they're not hoping or wishing or begging the universe for more money. They're feeling with absolute certainty that prosperity is their natural state, and this emotional conviction penetrates their subconscious with tremendous creative force. This distinction reveals why so many hard-working, intelligent people remain trapped in financial struggle despite their best efforts. They approach wealth consciousness from a place of need, which automatically generates emotions of lack and desperation. But wealthy individuals, whether they consciously understand this process or have developed it intuitively, approach abundance from a place of knowing. They feel wealthy before they see the external evidence, and this emotional certainty becomes the foundation upon which their financial reality is built. The journey from scarcity to Abundance requires this fundamental shift in how you relate to prosperity at the deepest emotional level. It's not about what you desire with longing, because longing reinforces the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It's about what you feel with certainty, because certainty creates the energetic conditions for manifestation to occur naturally and effortlessly. Your subconscious mind operates with the precision of a supercomputer, but unlike any artificial intelligence, it processes emotional data rather than logical information. When you feel wealthy with genuine conviction, even for just a few moments before sleep, you're uploading a new program that your subconscious begins running immediately. This isn't positive thinking or visualization tricks. This is strategic emotional programming that wealthy people use instinctively. The power of this process becomes even more profound when you understand that your last thought before sleeping becomes the most fertile seed in the garden of your subconscious mind. Throughout the day, your thoughts are scattered, competing for attention, diluted by countless distractions and interruptions. But that final thought before sleep gets planted in the richest, most receptive mental soil available, where it can grow and develop without interference from conscious resistance or doubt. This is why the moments just before drifting off carry such tremendous creative potential. Your subconscious doesn't have a sense of humor about this process. It doesn't interpret your thoughts or try to understand whether you're being realistic or practical. It simply receives whatever emotional content you provide and begins executing it as if it were a direct command. If your last thought is worry about money, it executes worry. If your last thought is gratitude for abundance, it executes abundance. This kind of practical wisdom about manifestation and money isn't something you'll find everywhere. If you want to keep exploring these transformative principles together, subscribe to the channel. I'm committed to bringing you content that bridges the gap between spiritual understanding and actual results in your financial life. The constant and dominant thought patterns that occupy your mind, especially during this twilight state, literally mold your reality from the inside out. Your subconscious uses these thoughts as blueprints for creating your experience, influencing your decisions, your energy, your intuition, and even the opportunities you notice or overlook. This behind-the-scenes process explains why some people seem to naturally attract prosperity, while others struggle despite their conscious efforts. The transformation happens when you recognize that you have complete control over this final thought, this last emotional imprint before sleep. Instead of allowing random worries or Netflix plots to occupy this sacred mental space, you can deliberately choose to plant seeds of prosperity that will grow in the fertile darkness of your sleeping hours. Your morning reality begins forming in these precious evening moments, shaped by whatever emotional content you consciously or unconsciously deposit in your subconscious mind. The impact of mastering this single practice extends far beyond financial gain, because you're essentially learning to direct the same creative force that governs all areas of your life experience. Now, I want to reveal the specific emotional states and mental images that create the most powerful programming effects, because the quality of what you plant in these final moments determines the quality of what grows in your waking experience. Write in the comments, "My last thought creates my reality," if this revelation is clicking for you. The revelation that completely transformed my understanding of manifestation came when I discovered that silence isn't emptiness. It's the most potent creative space in existence. While most people fill their pre-sleep moments with noise, distraction, and mental chatter, they're unknowingly blocking access to the most powerful portal for programming their new reality. Your mind doesn't need constant stimulation to create extraordinary results. It needs clear direction, and the most potent moment to provide that direction is in the profound silence just before you close your eyes. Think about the profound impact of this understanding. Every sound, every thought, every piece of information you consume right before sleep either supports or sabotages your wealth creation efforts. When you fill those precious final moments with television drama, social media chaos, or anxious mental rehearsals, you're essentially drowning out the subtle communication channel between your conscious desires and your subconscious creative power. But when you create intentional silence, you're opening a direct line to the part of your mind that actually constructs your reality. This silence isn't passive, it's dynamically creative. In the absence of external noise and internal chatter, your focused intention becomes incredibly powerful. Your subconscious mind, no longer competing with 1,000 different inputs, can receive your wealth programming with perfect clarity. The silence becomes a sacred container where your financial visions can take root without interference, where your abundance affirmations can penetrate deep into your psyche, where your prosperous identity can crystallize and strengthen. The transformation happens because silence allows you to access what I call your inner command center, the place where decisions about your reality are actually made. During the day, this command center is often overridden by external circumstances, other people's opinions, and the constant bombardment of information. But in the profound quiet before sleep, you reclaim full access to your creative authority. You become the director of your own life story, rather than a passive character responding to whatever chaos surrounds you. But here's the hidden truth that elevates this practice from personal development technique to cosmic collaboration. Your last thought before sleeping doesn't just influence your subconscious mind, it becomes a direct order that the universe begins executing instantly. When you understand what's really happening behind the scenes, you realize that every night when you close your eyes, you're essentially signing an energetic contract that shapes tomorrow's experiences, opportunities, and encounters. This energetic contract operates according to principles that transcend ordinary cause and effect logic. Your pre-sleep thought doesn't just influence your own behavior and decision-making, it actually sends out a vibrational signal that attracts circumstances, people, and opportunities that align with whatever energy you've broadcast. The universe doesn't distinguish between your conscious desires and your unconscious programming. It simply responds to the dominant frequency you're transmitting, especially during those highly receptive moments before sleep. The journey from financial struggle to financial freedom often hinges on recognizing that you're constantly signing these energetic contracts, whether you're aware of it or not. Most people are unknowingly contracting for more of the same limitations they're already experiencing, simply because they haven't learned to consciously direct their pre-sleep energy. But when you master the art of deliberate energetic contracting, you begin collaborating with forces that can orchestrate changes in your external circumstances that would seem impossible through ordinary effort alone. This is why the silence before sleep becomes so sacred. When you truly understand its power, you're not just preparing for rest, you're preparing to issue instructions to the same intelligence that governs planetary movements, seasonal changes, and the intricate coordination of billions of life forms. You're accessing your ability to participate consciously in the creative process that's constantly unfolding around and through you. Now, I want to explore the specific techniques that maximize this silent programming power, because there are particular ways to engage with this sacred silence that dramatically amplify your manifestation abilities and ensure your energetic contracts are crystal clear. Write in the comments, "I choose silence and direction," if you're ready to harness this sacred creative space. The breakthrough moment that revolutionized my entire approach to manifestation came when I discovered the profound difference between asking from desperation and thanking from certainty. Most people approach wealth creation like beggars at the cosmic doorstep, pleading for abundance while simultaneously broadcasting their current state of lack. But there's a hidden truth that completely transforms this dynamic. The mind that gives thanks before receiving becomes an unstoppable magnet for everything it desires. When you beg the universe for money, you're essentially declaring that you don't have it, that you're separate from it, that it's outside of your natural realm of experience. Your energy radiates need, desperation, and scarcity, which creates a vibrational mismatch with the very abundance you're trying to attract. It's like trying to tune into a prosperity radio station while broadcasting on the frequency of limitation. But when you thank the universe for wealth that's already flowing into your life, even before you see the physical evidence, you're operating from an entirely different energetic foundation. You're vibrating from certainty rather than need, from abundance rather than lack, from knowing rather than hoping. This shift in vibrational frequency creates the perfect conditions for manifestation to occur naturally and effortlessly. The transformation happens because gratitude is the emotion of receipt. When you genuinely feel grateful for something, you're emotionally experiencing the reality of having it. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between gratitude for what you currently possess and gratitude for what's on its way to you. It simply registers the emotional signal of satisfaction and abundance, then begins organizing your reality to match that internal state. This is why anticipatory gratitude becomes such a powerful tool for wealth creation. When you lie in bed feeling genuinely thankful for the financial opportunities that are flowing into your life, for the unexpected income that's manifesting, for the abundance that's already yours in the realm of possibility, you're programming your subconscious to expect and attract these experiences in the physical world. But here's where I need to address a crucial misconception that prevents many people from accessing this power effectively. This process isn't magic, mysticism, or supernatural intervention. This is pure programming, and understanding it as such actually makes it more powerful rather than less. Your subconscious mind operates exactly like the most sophisticated computer ever created, and it's designed to execute whatever programs you install with emotional conviction. The journey from financial struggle to financial freedom becomes much more achievable when you recognize that your subconscious is essentially an obedient servant waiting for clear instructions. It doesn't question your commands, analyze their feasibility, or judge their worthiness. It simply receives whatever emotional programming you provide and begins implementing it immediately. This is why the quality of your pre-sleep emotional state becomes so crucial to your manifestation success. The hidden truth is that you need two essential components for effective subconscious programming: clear intention and authentic emotion. Most people have vague intentions mixed with conflicted emotions, which creates confused programming that produces inconsistent results. But when you combine crystal clear intention with genuine feeling, you're speaking your subconscious mind's native language with perfect fluency. This understanding transforms your entire relationship with the manifestation process, because you're no longer hoping for mysterious forces to intervene on your behalf. You're consciously directing the same creative mechanism that's already operating in your life, the same system that's been creating your current reality based on your unconscious programming. The only difference is that now you're taking deliberate control of the input rather than leaving it to chance. The impact of this realization extends far beyond financial abundance, because you're essentially learning to operate the control panel of your own life experience. Every emotion you feel before sleep becomes a command to your subconscious. Every image you hold becomes a blueprint for manifestation. Every grateful thought becomes a magnet for corresponding experiences. Now, I want to reveal the specific gratitude practices that create the most powerful programming effects, because there are particular ways to engage with thankfulness that dramatically accelerate the manifestation of abundance in your life. Write in the comments, "I program abundance with gratitude," if you're ready to shift from begging to thanking. The profound revelation that completely shifted my relationship with money came when I realized that prosperity doesn't respond to human language at all. Money doesn't hear your words, your prayers, or your desperate pleas for financial relief. What money actually responds to is something much more subtle and infinitely more powerful: your emotional vibration. This hidden truth explains why some people seem to effortlessly attract wealth, while others can work incredibly hard yet remain trapped in cycles of financial struggle. Think about the people you know who naturally magnetize opportunities and abundance. They're not necessarily asking for money more eloquently or praying with greater intensity. What they've discovered, often unconsciously, is how to resonate with the frequency of prosperity rather than broadcasting the frequency of need. Money responds to the silent language of emotional alignment, and this language operates below the threshold of conscious thought, in the realm where your deepest beliefs and expectations create your vibrational signature. When you approach money from desperation, anxiety, or fear, you're essentially speaking a language that repels abundance. Your energy broadcasts scarcity, which creates an energetic mismatch with the very prosperity you're trying to attract. But when you learn to resonate with abundance, to feel wealthy before you see the external evidence, you're communicating in money's native language. You're vibrating at the same frequency as prosperity itself, which creates the perfect conditions for financial opportunities to flow naturally into your experience. The transformation happens when you understand that this vibrational communication occurs most powerfully during those precious moments before sleep, when your conscious mind finally stops analyzing, judging, and doubting. This is when your authentic emotional state becomes pure communication with the creative forces that govern manifestation. If you drift off, feeling grateful for abundance, your vibrational message is crystal clear. If you fall asleep worrying about bills, that anxiety becomes your dominant broadcast frequency. But here's where the process becomes even more powerful, and this is the hidden truth that separates those who merely understand these concepts from those who actually experience dramatic financial transformation. What you visualize just before sleeping becomes the invisible mold that shapes your tomorrow's experiences. In those final minutes when everything external quiets down, when the noise of the day finally fades away, your subconscious mind becomes completely open and receptive, operating without the usual filters, judgments, or logical resistance. This creates what I call the sacred window of pure programming. Your subconscious doesn't question the images you provide during this time, doesn't analyze their probability, or argue with their possibility. It simply receives whatever visual and emotional content you offer, and begins using it as a blueprint for creating your next day's reality. The last image your subconscious records becomes the template it works from while you sleep, influencing everything from your energy and decision-making to the opportunities you notice and the people you attract. The journey from financial limitation to financial freedom often hinges on mastering this final moment of conscious creation. Instead of allowing random thoughts, Netflix scenes, or anxious worries to occupy this sacred space, you can deliberately choose the exact image and emotion that will guide your subconscious mind's creative work throughout the night. This isn't about fantasy or wishful thinking. This is about strategic reality programming using the most powerful tool at your disposal, your own imagination combined with authentic emotion. The impact of this practice extends far beyond personal wealth creation, because you're essentially learning to direct the same force that orchestrates all manifestation in the universe. Your pre-sleep visualization becomes a collaborative effort with the intelligence that governs synchronicity, opportunity, and the seemingly magical way circumstances align to support those who are vibrationally aligned with their desires. Now, I want to reveal the specific visualization techniques that create the most powerful programming effects, because the quality and clarity of your final pre-sleep image determines how effectively your subconscious can manifest it in your waking experience. Write in the comments, "I speak money's vibrational language," if you're ready to shift from desperation to resonance. The revolutionary understanding that completely transformed my approach to wealth creation came when I realized that sleep isn't just a biological necessity for physical recovery, it's actually silent programming that runs continuously for 8 hours every single night. While your body rests and repairs itself, your subconscious mind is incredibly active, processing and implementing whatever instructions you gave it just before drifting off. What you repeat during these sleeping hours, either consciously through pre-sleep programming or unconsciously through worry and stress, becomes the reality you'll live when you wake up. This hidden truth explains why some people wake up feeling inspired, energized, and naturally drawn toward profitable opportunities, while others consistently wake up feeling anxious, drained, and magnetically attracted to problems and limitations. The difference isn't luck, genetics, or external circumstances. The difference is what kind of programming their subconscious mind has been running all night long, based on the final emotional and mental content they provided before sleep. Your subconscious operates like the most sophisticated computer ever created, and during sleep, it works exclusively with the last message it received from your conscious mind. If that message was worry about money, it spends 8 hours reinforcing neural pathways of financial anxiety. If that message was gratitude for abundance, it dedicates those same 8 hours to strengthening your capacity to recognize and attract prosperity. This is why the moments just before sleep become so crucial to your financial transformation, because you're literally programming the computer that creates your daily experience. The journey from financial struggle to financial freedom requires understanding that you're not just trying to change your external circumstances, you're actually learning to build an invisible bridge between your current reality and your desired reality. This bridge doesn't exist in the physical world, it exists in the realm of consciousness, in the space where your emotions and imagination have the power to reshape the very fabric of your experience. Your world changes while you sleep, but only if you know how to construct this invisible bridge with precision and intention. The secret lies in learning to assume the feeling of your wish already fulfilled and then sleeping deeply within that emotional state. This isn't about pretending or forcing artificial positivity. This is about accessing the genuine emotions that would naturally arise if your financial dreams were already your lived reality. When you can feel truly wealthy before you see the external evidence, when you can experience the relief, joy, and freedom of financial abundance while lying in bed regardless of your current bank balance, you're building the strongest possible bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between emotions generated by external circumstances and emotions generated by internal imagination, so it treats this assumed feeling as evidence of your actual reality. The transformation happens because once your subconscious accepts this new emotional reality as true, it begins working tirelessly to align your external world with your internal state. Your decisions shift to match this new identity. Your energy changes in ways that attract different opportunities and people. Your intuition becomes sharper about financial choices because you're operating from abundance rather than scarcity. The bridge you built in consciousness becomes a pathway for manifestation in the physical world. This process reveals why traditional goal setting often fails to produce dramatic results. Most people focus on changing their actions while their emotional programming remains unchanged. But when you learn to reprogram your emotional reality, during those precious pre-sleep moments, your actions begin changing automatically to support your new internal state. You don't have to force different behaviors. They arise naturally from your transformed consciousness. The impact of mastering this invisible bridge construction extends far beyond personal wealth creation, because you're essentially learning to collaborate with the same creative principles that govern all manifestation in the universe. You're discovering how to work with the field of pure possibility that exists beyond physical limitations. Now I want to explore the specific emotional states and mental techniques that strengthen this invisible bridge and ensure your sleep programming creates the most powerful transformation possible. Write in the comments, "I build my bridge while I sleep," if this process is making sense to you. The profound revelation that changed everything about how I understood manifestation came when I discovered that silence isn't the absence of something, it's actually the presence of everything. Most people think of quiet moments as empty space, but silence is actually the fertile creative void where all possibilities exist simultaneously. During the day, you're constantly exposed to external noise, other people's thoughts, media programming, and the endless chatter of a world that never stops talking. But at night, when this external cacophony finally quiets down, something magical happens. Your inner world begins to speak with incredible clarity and power. This shift from external noise to internal silence creates the perfect conditions for what I call conscious creation. Throughout the day, your creative power is scattered, diluted by countless distractions and competing influences. But in the profound quiet before sleep, your creative force becomes concentrated, focused, and incredibly potent. This is when your thoughts carry the most weight, when your emotions have the deepest impact, and when your intentions can penetrate the deepest layers of your subconscious programming. The transformation happens because silence allows you to access your authentic creative power without interference. In the quiet, you can hear the subtle whispers of your intuition, feel the genuine emotions of your heart, and connect with the part of yourself that knows exactly how to attract and create the life you desire. This inner wisdom has been there all along, but it's often drowned out by the constant noise of everyday life. Silence becomes your gateway to reconnecting with this deeper intelligence. But here's where this understanding becomes truly revolutionary, and it's a hidden truth that most people never discover. What you dream with genuine conviction, the universe takes as a direct order. When you really grasp this principle, it completely transforms your relationship with sleep and dreaming. You begin to recognize that sleep isn't a break from your day. It's actually the continuation of your creation process. Those 8 hours aren't downtime. They're your most powerful manifestation laboratory. The journey from financial limitation to financial abundance often hinges on this recognition. What happens in your mind during the last few minutes before sleeping literally defines what you'll experience tomorrow. Your pre-sleep thoughts aren't just random mental activity, they're instructions to the same intelligence that orchestrates everything from your heartbeat to planetary movements. When you fall asleep, feeling wealthy, grateful, and expectant of abundance, you're essentially placing an order with the universe for more experiences that match that emotional state. This is why learning to transform your dream time into a millionaire ally becomes such a powerful wealth creation strategy. Instead of allowing your sleep to be filled with random subconscious processing or anxiety-driven dreams, you can deliberately program your sleeping mind to work on your financial goals. Your dreaming consciousness becomes an active partner in your prosperity journey, generating solutions, insights, and opportunities that your waking mind might never have considered. The impact of this realization extends far beyond personal wealth creation because you're essentially learning to collaborate with the same creative force that governs all manifestation in the physical world. Your sleeping mind connects to a vast network of intelligence that operates behind the scenes of everyday reality, orchestrating synchronicities and opportunities that appear to be coincidences but are actually responses to the orders you've been placing through your pre-sleep programming. The hidden truth is that every successful person, whether they consciously understand this process or have developed it intuitively, has learned to make their dreams work for them rather than against them. They've discovered how to use their sleeping hours as active creation time, programming their subconscious to attract opportunities, generate solutions, and maintain the emotional states that magnetize abundance. Now, I want to reveal the specific techniques for transforming your sleeping mind into a wealth creation powerhouse, because there are particular ways to engage with your dream consciousness that dramatically accelerate your financial transformation. Write in the comments, "My dreams work for my wealth," if you're ready to turn your sleep into active manifestation time. The breakthrough revelation that completely transformed my understanding of wealth creation came when I realized that absolutely everyone, without exception, surrenders to a ritual before sleeping. The difference between those who struggle financially and those who prosper isn't whether they have a pre-sleep ritual, it's whether they perform this ritual consciously or unconsciously. This hidden truth separates the financially successful from those trapped in cycles of limitation. And most people never even realize they have a choice in how they approach these sacred final moments of their day. Think about your own evening routine and notice the profound impact of this awareness. Some people unconsciously surrender to a ritual of reviewing their financial problems, replaying conversations about debt, scrolling through social media that fills their minds with other people's complaints and negativity. They go to bed mentally rehearsing everything that's wrong with their situation, unknowingly programming their subconscious for more of the same struggles. This becomes their nightly ritual of limitation, performed without awareness or intention. But then there are others, what I call the silent millionaires, who have discovered something that changes everything. They recognize that bedtime isn't just the end of their day, it's actually their most important appointment with their own creative potential. Instead of unconsciously filling their minds with worry and stress, they go to bed deliberately, planting seeds of fortune in the most fertile ground that exists, their own subconscious mind during its most receptive state. The transformation happens when you recognize that this choice is entirely within your control. You can continue the unconscious ritual of worry and limitation, or you can consciously create a ritual of prosperity and abundance. The time investment is exactly the same, but the long-term impact on your financial reality is dramatically different. Those final moments before sleep become either your greatest asset or your biggest liability in creating wealth. But here's the deeper truth that elevates this understanding to a completely new level. Every night when you close your eyes, you're essentially closing the most valuable safe in the entire universe. Your mind, particularly your subconscious mind, is infinitely more precious than any bank vault, more powerful than any computer, more influential than any external circumstance in determining your life experience. The question that determines your financial destiny becomes, what are you filling this safe with before you close it for the night? Most people unconsciously fill their mental safe with thoughts of scarcity, images of limitation, emotions of fear and stress about money. They lock these destructive elements into their subconscious and wonder why their days consistently reflect these same energies. But when you understand the incredible value of your mental safe, you begin approaching it with the reverence and intention it deserves. The journey from financial struggle to financial abundance requires recognizing that your mind isn't just a thinking apparatus, it's actually the control center for your entire life experience. Every thought, emotion and image you deposit into this mental safe before sleep becomes the raw material your subconscious uses to construct tomorrow's reality. The quality of what you put in determines the quality of what you experience when you wake up. This understanding completely transforms your relationship with bedtime because you begin to see these moments as the most important business meeting of your day. You wouldn't carelessly throw random documents into a valuable safe And you shouldn't carelessly throw random thoughts and emotions into your subconscious mind. Instead, you begin curating the content of your mental safe with the same precision a museum curator would use to select priceless artwork. The impact of this conscious curation extends far beyond personal wealth creation, because you're essentially learning to direct the same creative force that governs all manifestation in the physical world. Your mental safe becomes a treasure chest of positive programming that works continuously while you sleep, generating solutions, opportunities, and insights that support your financial transformation. Now, I want to reveal the specific techniques for filling your mental safe with the most powerful, wealth-attracting content possible, because the precise nature of what you deposit determines how quickly and effectively your financial reality begins to transform. Write in the comments, "I fill my mental safe with abundance," if you're ready to take conscious control of your pre-sleep programming. The profound discovery that revolutionized my entire approach to wealth manifestation came when I learned about a secret that very few people ever uncover. There exists a threshold of power that opens for just a few precious minutes each night, and most people pass through it completely unconscious of its incredible potential. This threshold exists in that twilight state between sleep and waking, when you're hovering between full consciousness and the dream world, when your logical mind begins to fade, but your awareness is still present. This is where you can insert what I call the golden key that will open doors to opportunities you didn't even know existed. Think about the profound implications of this hidden truth. Every single night, you have access to a state of consciousness that operates outside the normal rules of logic, limitation, and linear thinking. In this threshold state, your subconscious mind becomes incredibly receptive to new programming while your conscious resistance is completely lowered. This creates the perfect conditions for inserting thoughts, images, and emotions that can literally reshape your financial reality from the inside out. The transformation happens because this twilight consciousness operates like a direct portal to your creative subconscious. During normal waking hours, your conscious mind acts like a security guard, questioning, analyzing, and often rejecting new ideas that seem too good to be true or too different from your current circumstances. But in this threshold state, that security guard steps aside, leaving your subconscious mind completely open to receive whatever programming you choose to provide. This is why wealthy individuals, whether they consciously understand this process or have developed it intuitively, often report that their best financial ideas come to them just before sleep or immediately upon waking. They've learned to access this threshold state and use it for creative problem-solving and opportunity recognition. The golden key they've discovered is that this liminal consciousness can unlock possibilities that their normal waking mind would never consider or believe possible. But here's where this understanding becomes even more powerful, and it's a revelation that completely transforms how you approach your evening routine. Before sleeping, something remarkable happens that most people never recognize. The external world essentially turns off its influence over your mind, but your internal world begins its most important and creative work of the entire day. While the noise, distractions, and limitations of the physical world fade into the background, your subconscious mind doesn't turn off or go dormant. Instead, it becomes more powerful, more receptive, and infinitely more creative. This nocturnal transformation of consciousness creates what I call your wealth multiplication laboratory. During sleep, your subconscious mind operates without the usual constraints of time, space, and logical possibility. It can make connections between ideas that your waking mind would never link together. It can generate solutions to financial challenges that seem impossible during the day. It can attract opportunities and synchronicities that appear to be pure coincidence, but are actually the result of your subconscious mind's incredible creative power working behind the scenes. The journey from financial limitation to financial abundance often hinges on learning to deliberately engage with this nocturnal programming process. Instead of allowing your subconscious to spend 8 hours randomly processing the day's stress and anxiety, you can consciously direct it to work on your prosperity goals. Your sleeping mind becomes an active partner in your wealth creation, generating insights, opportunities, and energy shifts that support your financial transformation. The impact of mastering this nocturnal programming extends far beyond simple manifestation techniques, because you're essentially learning to collaborate with the same intelligence that orchestrates all creation in the universe. Your subconscious mind, when properly programmed and freed from conscious interference, can access creative solutions and attract circumstances that seem to defy ordinary cause and effect logic. Now, I want to reveal the specific methods for accessing this threshold state and programming your nocturnal wealth laboratory with precision, because there are particular techniques that maximize your subconscious mind's creative power and ensure your sleep becomes your most productive manifestation time. Write in the comments, "I unlock my nocturnal wealth laboratory," if you're ready to harness this threshold power. The revolutionary insight that completely transformed my understanding of why some people remain trapped in financial struggle came when I discovered that the real problem isn't lack of effort, intelligence, or even desire for wealth. The hidden truth is that most people keep dreaming as if they were poor, night after night, year after year. Their identity remains anchored to a past version of themselves, someone who struggled with money, someone who believed prosperity was for other people, someone who accepted limitation as their natural state. They go to sleep carrying this outdated identity into their subconscious programming, and then wonder why their external circumstances never change. This revelation explains why traditional self-help approaches often fail to create lasting financial transformation. You can set goals, create vision boards, and repeat affirmations during the day. But if you're sleeping with the mind of someone who fundamentally believes they're not worthy of wealth, your subconscious will continue creating experiences that match that deeper identity. Your nighttime programming overrides your daytime efforts because the subconscious operates on identity rather than intention. The transformation happens when you recognize that sleep provides the perfect opportunity for identity reconstruction. During those precious moments before unconsciousness, when your logical mind releases its grip and your subconscious becomes incredibly receptive, you can literally rewrite who you are at the deepest level. Instead of drifting off as someone who struggles with money, you can consciously choose to sleep as someone who naturally attracts abundance, someone who expects prosperity, someone whose very existence magnetizes wealth. This process of nocturnal identity transformation operates on principles that go far beyond positive thinking or visualization. You're actually rewiring the neural pathways that determine how you perceive opportunities, make decisions, and respond to financial challenges. When you consistently sleep with the identity of a wealthy person, your brain begins forming new connections that support this upgraded self-concept, making abundant thinking and prosperous behavior feel natural rather than forced. But here's where the process becomes even more powerful, and it's a hidden truth that determines whether you'll experience gradual change or dramatic breakthrough. Every single night you go to bed with a specific thought in your mind, and that thought becomes the seed from which tomorrow's experiences grow. Most people never recognize the incredible significance of this final mental moment, treating it as random mental noise rather than the most important creative act of their entire day. The journey from financial limitation to financial freedom often hinges on this single recognition. If you don't consciously choose your last thought with intention and Precision, it will inevitably be the same thought pattern that has kept you trapped. Worry about bills that need paying, scarcity thinking about resources running out, doubts about your ability to create positive change, frustration with your current circumstances. These default thought patterns become the seeds that your subconscious plants and nurtures throughout the night, growing into tomorrow's repeated experiences of struggle and limitation. The impact of taking conscious control over this. Final thought extends far beyond personal wealth creation because you're essentially learning to direct the same creative force that governs all manifestation. Your last thought before sleep becomes a direct instruction to the intelligence that orchestrates synchronicity, opportunity, and the mysterious way circumstances align to support those who are vibrationally prepared to receive abundance. This understanding transforms your entire relationship with bedtime because you begin to recognize these final moments as your most important creative opportunity. Instead of allowing random mental chatter to determine your subconscious programming, you deliberately choose thoughts that align with the wealthy identity you're cultivating and the prosperous reality you're creating. Now, I want to explore the specific identity transformation techniques that create the most powerful overnight programming because there are particular ways to engage with this process that dramatically accelerate your evolution from limitation consciousness to abundance consciousness. Write in the comments, "I sleep with my wealthy identity," if you're ready to transform who you are at the deepest level. The profound revelation that completely revolutionized my understanding of consciousness and wealth creation came when I discovered that while your body sleeps, your mind doesn't rest at all. It keeps creating, processing, and constructing the framework for your next day's experiences with incredible precision and power. This hidden truth means that what you give your mind before closing your eyes literally becomes the mold from which your reality is shaped. Your waking experiences aren't random events happening to you. They're actually reflections of the unconscious creative work your mind performed while you slept. Think about the profound implications of this understanding. Every morning when you wake up and encounter your day's circumstances, opportunities, challenges, and encounters, you're essentially meeting the results of your mind's nighttime creative session. If you went to sleep filled with worry and scarcity thinking, your mind spent 8 hours molding experiences that reflect those emotions. If you drifted off feeling abundant and grateful, your unconscious mind worked tirelessly to create circumstances that match that energetic frequency. This behind-the-scenes process explains why some people seem to effortlessly attract positive experiences while others consistently encounter obstacles and limitations. It's not luck, genetics, or external circumstances determining their reality. It's the quality of the mental mold they provide their subconscious mind each night through their pre-sleep thoughts and emotions. Your sleeping mind operates like the most sophisticated reality creation factory imaginable, and you're the one providing the blueprints through your final conscious moments. The transformation happens when you recognize that this isn't just a personal development concept. This is actually how consciousness operates at its most fundamental level. Your mind is constantly creating, constantly molding, constantly shaping the invisible framework that becomes your visible experience. During sleep, this creative process accelerates and intensifies because your conscious resistance is completely removed, allowing your subconscious to work without interference or limitation. But here's where this understanding becomes truly revolutionary. And it's a secret that separates those who struggle financially from those who prosper effortlessly. The most powerful way to influence this unconscious creative process isn't through asking, begging, or pleading with the universe for abundance. The secret lies in learning to thank the universe for wealth before you receive it, because the mind that gives thanks before receiving becomes an unstoppable magnet for everything it desires. When you approach wealth creation from a place of begging or Desperate asking, you're vibrating from a frequency of need, lack, and separation from what you want. Your energy broadcasts the message that you don't have what you desire, that it's outside of you, that you're incomplete without it. This vibrational signal creates an energetic mismatch with abundance itself, actually repelling the very prosperity you're trying to attract. But when you learn to thank the universe for wealth that's already flowing into your life, even before you see the physical evidence, you're vibrating from an entirely different frequency, certainty. You're operating from the assumption that abundance is already yours, that prosperity is your natural state, that wealth is simply a matter of recognition rather than acquisition. This energetic shift changes everything because you're no longer trying to get something you don't have. You're simply acknowledging what's already been given. The journey from financial struggle to financial freedom often requires this fundamental shift in how you relate to abundance at the deepest level. Gratitude isn't just a nice emotion or spiritual practice. It's actually a powerful manifestation technology that aligns your vibration with the frequency of what you desire. When you feel genuinely grateful for wealth before it appears externally, you're creating the perfect energetic conditions for it to manifest in your physical experience. This process of anticipatory gratitude becomes even more powerful when you engage with it during those precious moments before sleep, because you're programming your unconscious creative mind to work from a foundation of abundance rather than scarcity throughout the night. Now, I want to reveal the specific gratitude techniques that create the most powerful overnight programming, because the way you express thankfulness in those final conscious moments determines how effectively your sleeping mind can manifest abundance in your waking reality. Write in the comments, "I thank the universe" before receiving, if you're ready to shift from asking to acknowledging. The breakthrough that fundamentally changed my entire approach to wealth creation came when I finally understood the true nature of the subconscious mind and its role in shaping reality. Your subconscious operates exactly like the most obedient servant imaginable, one that never questions your commands, never analyzes their feasibility, and never judges their worthiness. It simply executes whatever orders you give it with genuine emotion, especially during those precious moments before sleeping when your conscious resistance completely dissolves. This understanding transforms everything because it reveals that you're not at the mercy of random circumstances or external forces when it comes to your financial reality. You have a direct line of communication with the most powerful creative mechanism in your life, and that communication channel opens widest when your body begins to relax and your mind starts to let go of its daytime concerns. This is the perfect moment to insert new instructions, new programming, new blueprints for the reality you want to experience. The transformation happens because your subconscious doesn't operate on logic or probability. It operates on emotional conviction. When you give it clear, emotionally charged instructions just before sleep, it begins implementing those instructions immediately. It influences your dreams, guides your intuition, affects your decision-making, and even shapes the energy you project that attracts specific people and opportunities into your experience. This isn't mystical thinking. This is understanding how consciousness actually works at its most fundamental level. But here's the revelation that elevates this entire process to its highest potential, and it's encapsulated in a phrase that has become my personal manifesto for wealth creation. While the world sleeps, I create. Think about the profound power contained in this simple statement. While billions of people around the globe are unconsciously surrendering their creative power to random dreams and anxiety-driven thoughts, you can be deliberately and intentionally designing your financial future. This phrase represents a complete shift in how you understand your relationship with time, consciousness, and manifestation. Most people think creation happens during their waking hours through action, effort, and struggle. But the real creation, the deep, Programming that determines what actions you'll be inspired to take and what opportunities you'll recognize happens in the quiet darkness while your body rests and your subconscious mind works without interference. Every single night becomes an opportunity to redesign your destiny from the inside out. Instead of allowing random mental chatter to determine your subconscious programming, you consciously choose to plant seeds of prosperity, abundance, and financial freedom in the most fertile ground imaginable, your own mind during its most receptive state. Your last thought before sleep becomes the blueprint that your subconscious uses to build tomorrow's experiences, and when that blueprint is aligned with wealth and abundance, your entire reality begins shifting to match that internal design. The journey from financial limitation to financial freedom requires embracing this nightly opportunity with the reverence and intention it deserves. While others waste these precious moments on worry, distraction, or unconscious mental wandering, you transform them into your most powerful manifestation practice. You become a conscious co-creator with the same intelligence that governs all manifestation in the universe. The impact of mastering this process extends far beyond personal wealth accumulation because you're essentially learning to work with the fundamental principles that govern how consciousness creates reality. When you consistently engage with this practice, money doesn't just come as a result of external effort. It flows naturally as a reflection of your internal alignment with abundance. If you've made it this far in our conversation tonight, something tells me you're not just casually browsing content. You're someone who recognizes that real transformation happens when you're willing to look beyond surface-level advice and dive into the deeper principles that actually govern how reality works. That kind of commitment and openness to growth is exactly what creates lasting change in your financial life. The fact that you stayed with me through this entire exploration of nocturnal wealth programming means you understand that abundance isn't just about working harder or finding the right strategy. It's about aligning your consciousness with prosperity at the deepest possible level, and that alignment happens most powerfully in those sacred moments before sleep when your creative potential is at its peak. I've been sharing these insights because I genuinely believe that financial freedom should be accessible to anyone willing to work with their mind rather than against it. If this resonates with you and you'd like to continue this journey of conscious wealth creation together, I'd love to have you subscribe to the channel. Every week I dive deep into the hidden principles that govern manifestation, success, and abundance, always from this same perspective of practical spirituality and real-world application. If tonight's conversation has opened up new possibilities in your thinking about money and sleep, would you let me know by commenting, "This message was meant for me"? There's something powerful about declaring your readiness to step into this new understanding, and I read every single comment because I'm genuinely curious about how these concepts land with people who are serious about transformation. And if you found value in what we explored together, that like button is always appreciated. It helps this message reach others who might be searching for exactly this kind of deeper approach to wealth creation. People who are ready to move beyond surface-level techniques into the real mechanics of conscious manifestation. Speaking of going deeper, there's a video right here that perfectly complements what we've discussed tonight. In it, I reveal the morning practices that amplify everything you program during your evening ritual, creating a complete cycle of conscious wealth creation. Click and continue with me over there, because the combination of what you do before sleep and what you do upon waking creates an unstoppable momentum toward financial transformation. Your abundant life is waiting for you to claim it. Sleep well and create consciously.